Is planting a church in D.C. part of your mission to try to turn this into a Christian nation?
Yes. So every society is theocratic. The only question is who's the.
It's so awesome that these guys just straight up look like villains all the time. I don't know what it is. It's not just me, right? Like, you're seeing this too, right? Like, just don't even listen to what he's saying, but just like look at him. Also, what the is CNN doing, offering like a neutral interview to a guy who's like, we need to do Christian Sharia, like Christian jihad, like all of the things that they claim, you know, Muslims are trying to do in America, they actively are trying to do at the behest of Christianity, and they're setting a neutral tone here. Very strange stuff.
Wilson's Little Corner, a picturesque campus nestled on the outskirts of downtown Moscow, Idaho, is growing by the day with thousands of like-minded Christians. Parishioners of his church, known as Kirkers, own and operate several businesses downtown next to liberal college town stores.
If it's true.
Why did he yell boo? It's because it's
because of me.
Because of you.
Yeah. Well, you had there you go.
That's a regular day for you.
That's not unusual.
A big focus of his Christian.
Everybody hates me. Oh, that's awesome. Hegseth reposted the segment and said, all Christ for all of life. That's the defense secretary. He posted the interview as though it was a positive one. And in the interview, the guy literally says it should be illegal to have abortions. Like, women shouldn't be able to vote and stuff. That's crazy. That's where we're at, I guess. I don't know. That's cool.
Movement is on a patriarchal society where men are dominant and women are expected to submit to their husbands.
Women are the kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies. That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Oh, it's not automatically an issue that you're a woman with 3 kids and you're sitting here talking to me instead of being barefoot and pregnant in your kitchen. Obama should be ashamed for abandoning Jeremiah Wright while watching this. Oh, 100%. Dude, oh my God. Jeremiah Wright said, "God damn America" one time, and Obama was like, I don't know that guy. Who? Jeremiah who? Meanwhile, you got motherfuckers who are just like, women should be slaves. It's not enough. We should literally enslave women to only do birth stuff. And you got the Secretary of Defense of the Trump administration being like, this is awesome. I like this a lot. And also he's a rapist. Awesome. I don't know what to say about this other than this is crazy. It's so crazy.
And Amy Prince, along with her 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no. In the sense that we're both saved by grace, we're absolutely on equal footing. But we have very different purposes, God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So like moving here
was
ultimately your decision.
Yes.
That's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors, Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter, agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with.
Bro, white people got bored that like Salafists were having too much fun. It's awesome. They're like, why is it just we need to do the madrasa system here in the United States of America. It's just conservatism, I guess, at its purest form. They're just doing the ISIS shit. This is what ISIS would look like if Iraq had like a functioning infrastructure and was not invaded by America and destroyed, right? Like an ISIS-style movement would resemble exactly this. This is what happens when you want to do ISIS, but in a country that hasn't been completely destroyed, right? Like, because the reason why ISIS is doing what we know as ISIS, like the incredibly violent stuff, is because their material realities are very different than like an American living in the suburbs. Yeah, when I said white boy jihad summer, I did not mean like the Christian version of that. Seemingly these guys are doing white boy jihad summer, maybe white boy jihad winter as well.
I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. Well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all
Pedophiles.
men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Well, that's not what happens in the Bible. Women do lead all the time.
Progressive faith leader Reverend Jennifer Butler is concerned about Wilson's growing influence.
He is rapidly gaining in power. He has hundreds of churches established around the country. They actually literally want to take over towns and cities, and they have access to this administration.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration,
Gross.
with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
How precious.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by
What the Yo, bro, what? Dude, we're so cooked, man. I go back and forth on this where I'm like, are they faking it for the bit? Like, are they doing this because they feel like this is an opportunity for like upwards mobility or something, you know? Suck up to the boss? Or are they just like this crazy? I don't get it. Like, I feel like there isn't that many religious people left in America. You know what I mean? As opposed to like 50 years ago. Are these people all just like congregating in one area? Is that what it is? Where is this coming from? Like, church attendance is down year over year. They're not faking. I come from these fools. There are so many of them. Anecdotally, my 21-year-old sister is seemingly evangelicalizing herself. How is that possible? Yo, I don't understand. Like, I don't. Oh my God. Hasan needs to go see the real America. No, if this is what it is, I don't want to see it. Bro, I want to look away. I don't want to see this. I think like if this was liberation theology that they were preaching, ironic because it's the military, obviously that's not going to happen. But like I have no smoke for people who are just like religious people who are chill. You know, they go to their non-denominational church or whatever. Their church is like woke and gay, all that kind of stuff. Great. Okay. If they were like actually religious people who cared about, I don't know, doing right by others, community fundraisers, things of that nature. Like, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? But these guys are like weaponizing religion as a means to justify doing tremendous oppression. Like, their religion is hate. They are united in their hatred for those who they think are not even necessarily non-believers, but it's really gross. Like, this depiction of Christianity is so bastardized and so performative, but because all religion is performative at the end of the day, but like it's so performative in the exact opposite direction that religious doctrine is supposed to move you towards. The entire purpose of religion is supposed to make you a good person out of the fear that if you're not a good person, you're going to hell, at least under Christianity, right? These guys are literally worshipers of Satan. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you be a religious person and not a socialist? You know, it's just so strange. It's so strange to me. These guys would shoot Jesus in the head if he walked into that goddamn room and was like, a rich man's chances of getting in through the gates of heaven is like a camel getting in through the eye of a needle. And they'd be like, shut up, you socialist Mexican, and they would kill him. Like, they'd be like, shut the fuck up. Beat him with hammers. My mom is very religious, but she can't stand these people. Religion helped her get clean, but she has leftist values on like these freaks. Anyway, when you guys say like, oh, you live in an echo chamber, like, I'm not saying that there aren't religious people in America. Of course there are. There's a ton of them. There's 100 million of them, right? What I'm simply stating is church attendance is down. Less and less people are openly declaring themselves as religious. That's what I mean when I say like the trend is in the opposite direction. And it feels like the smaller their numbers get, the more aggressive they get with demonstrations of their faith, which is almost always a defense of violent institutions. Institutional violence, repression of the other. I guess maybe that's the reason why like church attendance is down. So all that's left are the nut jobs. Maybe that's the reason. I think the problem is that the ones that do are now going to churches like this at an increasing rate. Yeah. which is, I guess, even scarier. Maybe when church attendance was up, it was like the normal folk that are just like, I'm Christian, I go to the church every Sunday, it's whatever. But the guys that are still going to church at this time are just like, oh, I want, some kind of divine intervention to kill my ex-wife and her new husband, who happens to be brown, that type of shit. I pray to God every day that you smite my ex-wife, Deborah, that bitch. She took the children. American Christianity has also always been like prosperity gospel. So that's also the grossest depiction that Christianity could ever, the grossest form that Christianity could ever take. So it does make sense.
And now there's a monthly prayer service at the Pentagon, initiated by Hegseth, Wilson's highest level connection to the administration.
It's not organizationally tied to us, but it's the kind of thing we love to see.
For his part, Hegseth has publicly praised Wilson.
Now we're standing on the shoulders of a generation later, the Doug Wilsons and the others.
And as Wilson grows closer to the mainstream, the critics are also getting louder, accusing him and other Christian nationalists of wanting to create the dystopian world from The Handmaid's Tale, something he insists has never been his goal for society.
Dog, every year they write this article, young men are leading a religious resurgence. Oh, brother. The Christian radical response to 9/11 and the Catholic rape fest expose gobsmacked the entire millennial generation out of Christianity, at least 95% who are on the leftist political trajectory. This is just maximalist cope. Christianity is starting to make a comeback in the US and other Western countries, led by young people. Americans are increasingly shedding their religious affiliations. Go back far enough. I clicked on any link that I could, potentially. America's non-religious are a growing diverse phenomenon. They really don't like organized religion. October 5th, 2025. 30% of adults identify with no religion. That group, commonly called nuns, includes identifying as atheist, agnostic, nothing in particular. October 2023, sorry. This is from October 2023. I said 2025. And this doesn't mean people who identify, like I identify as Muslim. I'm not a religious person. You know what I mean? Oh, here are the numbers. More Americans see religion increasing its influence in the U.S. Though still the minority view at 34%. It's up from 20% a year ago. This isn't a positive thing, for the record. This is just people who still, right? Am I misunderstanding the question? Second surge occurred amid COVID-19 in April 2020. 38% of U.S. adults believe religion was becoming more influential. This isn't people saying that they're more religious. Views that religion is increasing its influence in American life by subgroups. Long-term religious trends in the U.S. are clear. Americans are less likely to identify with the religion, less likely to belong to a church or form a religious organization, less likely to attend religious services, and less likely to say religion is important in their lives than they were around the beginning of the 21st century. Americans appear to recognize those trends in religious attitudes and behavior, given the consistent majority since 2006 who have said religion is losing its influence on the U.S. However, as is the case now, the size of those majorities can fluctuate at times. To the extent where recent political changes in Washington are explanation for changes in opinion we've seen in December, it is unclear. I do think that as people become less religious in the United States of America, those who maintain a grasp on religion and those who actually say that they are religious are becoming more and more kooky, which will ironically negatively polarize the existing normals out of religion and will increase the number of non-religious people in the country. Wasn't disagreeing with you. The conclusion is still aligned with your overall perspective. The issue, of course, is that because of the profoundly important community aspect of religion, those people get in cult-like situations. They basically turn into a complete cult. And I don't mean like in an r/atheism, edgy atheist, like all religions in a cult type way. I mean like literally like the freaks that CNN is interviewing here. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not a racist. I'm not a misogynist.
How far off do you see a Christian nation, like a full-on Christian theocracy?
Oh, 250 years.
250 years.
Yeah, honestly, that's yes.
What you see. But you do think it will happen?
Yes, I do. We're not going to usher in anything ourselves. We're really genuinely pioneers.
John, we reached out to the Defense Department to better understand the relationship between Wilson and Hegseth, and a DoD spokesman said that Hegseth is a, quote, proud member of the network of churches founded by Pastor Wilson, and he also said that Hegseth, quote, very much appreciates many of Mr. Wilson's writings and teachings.